Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ryan Retro channel. Today is 20 days since I got my Retroid Pocket 5 and started this YouTube channel. So I wanted to run through some more questions that people have had in the comments section of my videos to talk about the general overall experience using the Retroid Pocket 5. Jumping into the first question, first of all, thank you for saying that my video is informative. That's what I'm trying to do here on this channel. Let's say you're using the R3 button to cycle through layouts. This is in the 3DS emulator. Can we configure a button to cycle through anti-clockwise? So in the Lime 3DS settings, we have a button to cycle through layouts, and we also have a button to swap screens. So I've chosen to cycle layouts by clicking in the right stick, and I've chosen to swap screens by clicking in the left stick. So now in our game, by clicking in the right stick, it will swap screen configurations, and you can find one that suits the game you're playing. Then we can click the left stick to switch which side of the Retroid Pocket 5 screen the Nintendo DS screen is on. So if you want to make this screen go to the right and this screen go to the left, you can click this button. I don't think there is a button to cycle through anti-clockwise, but there aren't actually many configurations, so you don't really need to worry about that. If you look at the screen setup we have right now, and I'll just click the button a few times, and let's see how long it takes to go all the way through all of the different options and back to this screen. We're already back, so it didn't take very long. It could be a nice feature to be able to go anti-clockwise, but I don't think it's really necessary. I think the current setup like this works very well. While on the topic of the 3DS, I got a question asking if I was playing at 1x, 2x, or 3x native resolution. I was actually playing at 4x native resolution, 1600 by 960, which is just a little bit below the 1920 by 1080 screen of the Retroid Pocket 5. I did try using 5x native resolution, which is even higher than the resolution of this screen, but it was causing me to lose a little bit of performance, and I didn't feel that it was necessary to push the resolution higher than the screen can even show. So for that reason, I decided to stick with 4x native, 1600 by 960. It looks good and runs well. Do you run your tests in performance mode? No. For all of my tests that you see on this channel, I'm always running the performance mode as standard, not performance or high performance. The reason for this is that I want to keep the fan turned off and run the device silently. As I've gone through testing multiple systems, I've not noticed much of an improvement by bumping the performance up to performance or high performance mode, but I have noticed a huge difference in fan level. I'll just quickly demonstrate this now. As we move up to high performance mode and the fan kicks into sport mode, you'll hear it becomes very noisy. I really don't like that sound, so I like to keep it on standard mode with the fan turned off, and now you'll hear there's no sound whatsoever. That's much better, and the games run really well. So do I use performance mode? No. Next up, do you need a PC to use this? Absolutely not. Of course, if you're setting up lots of different emulation systems, it's much easier if you have a PC, but you don't need one. And I am going to show you how to use a PC with this in the future. But being an Android device, it already comes with Chrome, it comes with the Play Store, it comes with a file manager, it comes with everything you're going to need to set it up. If you want to download any files, you can just use Chrome, or I'd also recommend using Brave browser because that cuts out a lot of advertisements you might get on certain websites. And while using a PC definitely could help speed up some of the processes when you're setting this up, you don't need one at all. Could you test Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate and 3 Ultimate, please? 3 Ultimate also has a Wii U version if you want to compare it. So I've had a lot of game requests like this, and I'm still running through my game recommendations. Somebody also asked me why I have an Alex Jones game. I don't actually know who that is. These are just the recommendations I got on my videos, and I'm running through them to help you guys. So can I test Monster Hunter 4? Yes, absolutely. I will put those together in a comparison video in the future and let you know how it runs. So if any of you guys have more recommendations, please leave a comment under this video, and I'll try to add them to my list and get testing them for you. For the bottom screen, is the touchscreen usable, even when it's tiny and to the side? Once again, this is about the 3DS. This is the last question about the 3DS today, but let's just jump back into that and I'll show you. So of course, with the two screens side by side, we can easily use all of the touchscreen, but the question was, even when the screen is very small, can we still use it? So let's cycle through some different settings. Let's find one where the screen is really small like that. Can we still use it? I'll choose Ember. And as you can see, yes, we can still use it. It works perfectly fine. Can you try Pokemon ROM hacks? So there are very many Pokemon games that I want to try. Games like Pokemon Colosseum, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Heart Gold, Pokemon XY, Blue, Black. Did I just say blue? I meant white. There are so many different Pokemon games that I can't even remember the names of them. So I decided I will make a comprehensive, detailed Pokemon video. I will dedicate a video to all different Pokemon games, including ROM hacks and the Pokemon MMO. So make sure to subscribe and look out for that coming soon. Hi Ryan, love the videos, thank you. Could you do a setup guide with emulators that use a front end for the total noobs like me? Yes, absolutely. Right now, my Retroid Pocket 5 is still running the pre-production software. I do have the firmware flashing kit and guide, and I am going to do that, but I'll wait until I finish my vacation and get back home. So when I get back home a few days later, I'm going to make a video showing the update process, and then I'm also going to make a guide showing you how I set up each emulator and how I got them all running well. So look out for that in the next week or so. Thanks again for the excellent content. Thank you, Yusuf. I saw a 16:9 ratio on the GameCube version of Zelda Wind Waker. How did you do this? Yes, so if you watched my cross-platform comparison video a few days ago, you might have noticed I've got the Wind Waker on GameCube running in 16:9. The way I achieved this is by using something called gecko codes. You can search around on the internet and find many gecko codes. I found the one you're seeing now on Reddit. If you search the game name followed by widescreen gecko code, I'm sure you can find the same one that I used. So once you've found the code, you're going to need to copy and paste, go into the Dolphin emulator, hold your finger down on the game you want to edit, and go to Edit Cheats. Now you're going to need to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there might be a lot to get through here. And when you get to the bottom, you'll find it says Add New Gecko Code. So you're going to click on that and put a name you want. So I would call it something like widescreen. Then scroll down to Code and paste in here the code you got from Reddit or another website. Then when you do that, it's going to appear as an option you can toggle on and off here. So here's the one I added called widescreen. I found the code through Reddit, I pasted it in, and now when I check this box, it's going to be widescreen. So now if I disable this and head back into the game, you'll see we're now back to the original 4:3 aspect ratio. So let's enable it one more time. Let's hold our finger down on the game, go to Edit Cheats, scroll all the way down to the bottom where my added gecko code was, and let's toggle on the widescreen gecko code. And now getting back into the game, you'll see once again we have a 16:9 aspect ratio. You can use gecko codes for many things such as cheats and widescreen hacks, so check them out online and see what you can do to edit your games. Do wireless controllers work on the Retroid Pocket 5 or no? Once again, in my video testing the Retroid Pocket 5 on TVs, I used a wireless controller and it worked perfectly. But for the sake of demonstration, one more time, here we have an 8-bit Do or 8-bit Do SNES-style gamepad. We can take our gamepad and put it into pairing mode by holding the pairing button. On most gamepads, you'll then see some flickering, flashing lights like this. We can drag down from the top of the screen on the Retroid Pocket 5, come to where it says Bluetooth and hold that down, choose Pair New Device, and then hopefully, if all goes well, it should show up here on the drop-down menu. Here's my 8-bit Do controller. I will tap that, and I will choose Pair, and now the controller is set up. As I push the D-pad, you'll see it controlling the screen. When using a controller, it's very handy to jump into a front end, such as ESDE here. And when we jump into a game, we are going to need to configure this in the emulator we're using. Thankfully, most emulators have automatic mapping, so by clicking automatic mapping and then choosing our 8-bit Do controller, it should now work perfectly. So let's see if we can turn the car around. And sure enough, it's working absolutely perfectly, and it's a beautiful experience. I'm not noticing any lag whatsoever. I did mention this in my TV video. I don't notice any lag, but just to test that, let's quickly jump into a rhythm game. Here I'm playing Guitar Hero. I just quickly set up the buttons, so they don't actually match the colors of the controller. I just did this very quickly, but just to show I can hit all the buttons in time. There's no problem with the latency whatsoever in my experience. I have no idea what the red button is. Once again, I have a question. Are you employed by Retroid? No, absolutely not. I wish I was. I'm not employed by Retroid. The only reason that I only cover this one console is because it's the one that I have. I cannot afford to get other consoles. I wish I could. Hopefully someday soon I can afford to buy an Odin or something similar and review that as well. And if you guys would like to see me review something like the Odin Portal, please let me know because I am really considering buying one. Regular Jeffrey says, first off, loving the videos. Thank you so much. What size SD card are you using? I'm using a 512GB SD card, but I keep nearly filling it up all the time. So if you want to get a lot of games, I would recommend getting at least a 1TB SD card. If you're somebody who just picks and chooses a few games to play and then deletes them when they're done, 512 will be good enough for you. But for me, someone who wants to showcase a lot of games, I'm actually really struggling with this 512GB, and I'm certainly going to be upgrading to at least a 1TB card soon. Excellent videos. Thank you so much. Do you know if BBC iPlayer and other streaming apps work on this via the video out? So I can't actually get iPlayer on mine because my Play Store is the Korean Play Store, but I'll get some other streaming apps, but I will show you this in a minute because I am going to connect this to the TV to answer one of the other questions. Quick question, how do you turn off RGB on the analog sticks? This is very easy. If you just swipe down from the top of the screen, you can see here, joystick light. If you click on that, it will bring up the options of what color you would like, and here at the bottom you have the brightness. So by swiping it up to the top, you have 100% brightness on both sides, and by swiping that brightness down to 0%, they turn off. This question asks me, will the sound be at the monitor speaker or the RP5 itself? So in my previous video, I showed connecting the Retroid Pocket 5 to monitors and TVs, and I've had some questions asking where the sound will play from. In that video, sometimes when I connected to monitors, the sound came through the monitor, and sometimes it came out of the Retroid Pocket 5. The sound wasn't the focus of that video, so I didn't put too much time into testing that. So let's have a look now. In a previous video, I connected the Retroid Pocket 5 to a TV using a USB-C to HDMI cable. This time around, I'm using an HP hub, which once again lets you connect a USB-C device to an HDMI, but the result should be the same. So connecting the Retroid Pocket 5 to the TV, you can see it displays beautifully on the big screen, but is there any sound? That's what we need to test now. So let's turn up the sound on the device and see where it's coming from. So by turning the sound up, you'll hear there is no sound coming out at all. There is no sound coming from the Retroid Pocket 5, so my assumption would be it should be coming from the TV. Turning up the sound on the TV, there is no sound coming out of this at all. So this is something I do have to test more, because at my own home, some devices played the sound out of the TV and some didn't. So I will need to do more testing on this, and this will be dedicated to a future video, so look out for that. While I haven't been able to get streaming apps working on the Retroid Pocket 5 yet, if I open a YouTube video by a brilliant YouTuber and then connect the cable to the TV once more, you will see that it connects with no problems at all, but the only issue we are running into is that audio issue, which I do need to try to fix. So watch out for that in a future video where I'll try and get to the bottom of that and fix it once and for all. And on that note, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you to everyone who's been with me for the past 20 days and subscribed to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And also, if this video was useful to you, please consider liking it and sharing a comment. If you'd like to pick up your own Retroid Pocket 5, I'll leave my affiliate link down in the description to where I bought it from myself, the official Retroid website. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.